Hi, my name is Gabriela.
And I'm Roxana, and we're both master students of Health Food Innovation Management at Maastricht University.
And we would like to share with you our 5 main things that we learned at Seeds&Chips 2018.
Which is one of the biggest summit of food innovation in the world. We assisted to a talk about the top wines in the world, and I was very surprised when they mentioned that what suppliers valued the most when interacting with high-quality wine companies was storytelling.
Actually, they found out in the study that 96% of the responders considered that news and storytelling was the most valued added contribution expected by the supplier. With digital media, it was actually the key.
Yeah, so we realized that most of the talks had a lot of storytelling.
So it was just not about the product, but also about the values that the company share, the people who works with you, the values of the customers. Actually, we have this opportunity to see the chat and with one of the CEOs of Starbucks that it was really interesting, and his chat was built actually about how you need to build your business based on your consumers' values. Like, make that those values are your company everyday goals, and that create partnerships is really, really important.
There were several companies creating tools to give you personalized nutrition, personalized drinks, and even personalized plants. There was a company from Italy called Alelica. It's an Italian startup, and it's producing DNA tests that once the DNA sample is collected, they analyze it and they provide the client with a detailed report of the predispositions of diseases such as type 2 diabetes, etc. And not only that, but once you know the diseases that you are in higher risk, they give you a specific diet made by a dietitian. Another company was very funny. It was called Vinhood, and it gives you the perfect wine for you, and then you have a test. So the idea is that you have personalized everything.
So talking about digital media, we actually found a big trend in the fair about a lot of companies who develop softwares, chemicals, and new innovative ideas of how to reduce waste and basically combine technology with sustainability. For example, there was a software company that you mentioned, it was LeanPath.
Yeah, so LeanPath is a company that uses the Lean methodology to reduce the food waste in canteens, big canteens. It's already being used in many companies, and it's very innovative. And another company that I really like was Wasteless, which uses on the food label in the supermarket, they put the normal price of the products, but they also put a special price for those products that are almost going to be expired. So that way, the supermarket is not going to waste the food, and the people can buy it for a cheaper price, and both parties are winning.
Also, another example was a company that developed packaging from recycled materials to take away the food they are not eating. For example, if they are in the restaurant and they're not going to finish what they are going to eat, they can take it home in a very sustainable way, avoiding waste food and at the same time contributing with the sustainability with a packaging made of recycled material.
Well, because I have a son, and every time we go out for a dinner in a restaurant, he left a lot of food in his place to make the Italian doggy bag. So, because in the rest of the world is a common practice habit, but in Italy there is a shame doing that. So we try to understand why, and we produce this one that is the right product to overcome the shame of the act, because it's beautiful, convenient and practical. The materials are made with Favini, with a paper of Favini mill, that is called crush, and we can produce it with paper deriving from agro-food waste. We start 1.5 years ago, and now we are trying to do the same product for a school and for school, how do you say, where children eat at school.
A canteen.
Yeah, okay, a canteen. To build a new culture, 360 degrees, working with children, restaurants and their customers.
So communication is the key, and we had the opportunity to be in the speech of John Kerry, the 68th Secretary of State of the United States, and it was very interesting and motivational actually, because he mentioned that communication and partnership between science and politics is the base to innovate. Because the current problem is that there's in the bridge between those two is actually a wall. For example, like the conflict of interest, that is taking away the motivation of food industry to produce healthier and sustainable products. Therefore, we have a lot of waste of food, and from one side and from the other side is people who's dying of hunger.
One thing I would encourage you is you need to challenge the establishment. You really need to challenge the establishment, because the current food system, and even in Europe, it's broken. It's a broken system, and we need this new way to create healthy soils. So really there's like two paths. There's industrial agriculture, which I would describe as degenerative. It destroys the soils, it destroys biodiversity, it's killing the oceans, and it's the #1 cause of climate change. Exxon and Chevron and Shell is not the #1 contributor to climate change, it's agriculture. But your professors are not teaching you this. Neither is the media, and ironically, neither is the environmental movement. Is not talking about it.
Well, gladly they are teaching us about
that's
it.
good. Okay, well,
in
I'm glad
the
you.
Netherlands, they do care a lot about sustainability, so we do get to know about it.
Well, that's good to hear that, because they don't do it in the United States. But we can move to regenerative agriculture, and regenerative agriculture is about healthy soils. And there's different ways to do that, but basically carbon and sunlight are the two key elements. Whereas industrial agriculture, they use yesterday's sunlight. You know what yesterday's sunlight is?
Not really.
Petrochemicals.
Of course.
So they're running on yesterday's sunlight, and regenerative agriculture runs on carbon and today's sunlight, using plants and the integration of plants and animals in a holistic way. And that's the pathway forward. But we have a very short window of time.
So talking about sustainability, we found also a trend in the food production about new companies who are developing products to increase the value of proteins, vitamins, and minerals in their food, but with new ingredients. For example, the use of seaweed and insects. They actually use those ingredients to make bars, powders, pasta, bacon, and cookies, or as the main ingredient or product for bakeries, for example.
Yes, just following this trend, we found a lot of companies related to transparency. One of them was Agri Marketplace, which is a company from Portugal, which shows the whole chain of grains, so from the moment where it's taken by the agriculture until the person that buys it. Also, I found a really interesting company about seaweed called Algama. They're trying to use seaweed as their main ingredient for spreads, and they made a vegan version of mayonnaise, which is not only vegan but also is very low in fat thanks to the functional quality of seaweed.
Something that it was very interesting, it was that they mentioned the necessity about the communication between the company, the science, and the politics and the economy. For example, it was an added value of our master in that field, and he mentioned the following.
I just wanted to know How did this start?
How did it start? Our CEO, Alvin, was tired about eating food, spirulina only as a food supplement, and he wanted to see the microalgae or in every product that you can consume every day. So he thought about introducing the microalgae in different way, in different products, in different food products. That's why we are here. So we have made a lot of research to know in which way we could introduce the microalgae in our product. So we find already two different ways. The most common is the nutritional way with the spring wave. This is the nutritional way. So we have created a process that allowed us to keep all the nutrients of the spirulina intact and active in this bottle. So the process, the bottle has been patented because we are one of the only company which managed to keep all the nutrients intact in the finished product.
So the water has a spirulina inside?
Yeah, the water has the spirulina inside and all the nutrients active. So the 9 vitamins, I will show you. This is basically the nutrients you could find in the spirulina. So there are 9 vitamins, 20 amino acids, 65% of protein, 3 minerals and 3 pigments of interest for the body. This is very good for health. And also we have here another way to use the microalgae. This is the technical way. Here we have made a mayonnaise. So we have replaced the egg by the microalgae when you need that. And they need that between the R&D department and the purchase department, because every time they are fighting because R&D wants a formula that the buyer can buy, so they have to, and also the quality, because sometimes they already choose products that are that is not possible to use in their company. So yeah, you have to make the bridge, and if you manage it, wow, okay. I think all the company should create a new job for to make the bridge between all the sectors. Yes.
We would like to share with you our favorite quotes at Seeds&Chips.
If you make people happy, you make customers happy.
Success is best when it's shared.
If you want to teach people something, give them a tool, not only educate them.
And finally, our favorite,
Taste, don't waste.